Stephanie's coming back. And well, let's see, we did Boxer. I gotta try to remember now. And we did Twitter, and we did Skype. Okay, is that it? Okay. All right. Well, then let's go ahead and you guys have anything on the list that you want to make sure that we do before anybody has to leave? Otherwise, we'll pick one. Okay. So, Stephanie, you want to do another one, or do you want me to do Facebook?
Well, let's go ahead and finish out Boxer, and then you can go on. There really isn't a whole lot more to show in Boxer.
Okay.
I don't think. Let me pull up my.
Okay. I found out what the problem was.
What was that?
For all of you out there, don't ever change your name. Just live with what you've got. But
mine's the same. I had the same issue though, Marianne, because
because you changed your name to Lane.
Oh, I did change my name too.
I told you don't change your name.
I totally forgot I changed it.
Because the account was thinking, who the heck is Marianne Farrell? I'm obviously not been paid for.
Yes. And I did change.
Okay, moving on. We're being professional now. Sorry.
Okay, so let me pull my screen back up here for you to take a look. So I went ahead and just created one while we were waiting and getting back into the group, just to kind of show you, if you're on your phone or on your computer, you can it does the same thing, but you can just go and find the contacts and click on them, and you can start boxing with them. But I'm going to go back into the chats. I already sent Marianne a test one. So I have the option to send kind of like a text message, or again, I can just hit that walkie-talkie. We have a couple districts that were at one time using Boxer. The teachers had it on their phone, so if they needed to get the principal into the room for something immediate, they were able to use kind of the walkie-talkie version to get a hold of their administrator as well. So those are just some things, some ways. I want to point out on the website, as I was going through and pulling things up for our conversation about Boxer today, I stumbled across Boxer and Education, a group directory. So these are different people, whether it depends on their group. They have the name of their group you can join, what their topic is, and the kind of their area. And then they also have what they're sharing within that group. And I think that is awesome. These are all education related. There's one in New Jersey having general conversation. Here's one out of Kentucky. They're talking about school improvement, professional learning, and leadership. So what an awesome way to use this communication tool to learn more from others. And then you can get so awesome that you'll have your own group to add to the directory. So this was a really cool resource I'm really excited about. I want to spend a little bit of time checking into it and seeing who else we can connect with in other places. So
very cool.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about Boxer? I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And Marianne, if you want to talk a little bit about Facebook, that would be awesome.
Okay. So again, I have a little presentation. So I'm going to share my screen. And you know, you're probably thinking, Facebook, really? And actually, I was kind of thinking that too. So maybe you weren't, but I actually was. Then I discovered something with Facebook before I was going to do this that I thought, wow, that's a great idea. So I'm sharing my screen. Here's my little presentation. Did you guys all know that you can do live video streaming on Facebook? All right. So, and it's very easy to do. And so one of the reasons why I thought, wow, that's just fabulous is because, again, I'm going to get back on my soapbox and say, we really need to let the rest of the world know that educators and students are doing great things, and public schools are great places where great things are happening. So if you have if you have something that's going on and it's okay to have your students out on the internet, what a great idea to have you live stream that on your district's Facebook page, the poetry reading that you're having in English, or the kids are doing some robotics, or they're solving some great math problems up on the board and having great conversations about it. You know, all different kinds of things where you can create a little video and have that on your Facebook page so the public can see your kids doing great learning and you doing great teaching. I just can't get enough of that out there. The other thing that I thought would be really great with that live streaming thing is, how about if you have your students create a tour of the school? And so then you could put it out there on Facebook, a tour of the school. You could do that before, this would be like in August of next year when you've got new students coming into your building. And then there would be a virtual tour already out there done by students who are already there. You know, stop at the lockers. Here's how you open up your locker. Meet the cooks, hear the cooks, and, you know, then and talk to them. So it could be a nice little tour. And if you have any English language learners, parents who don't speak English, which I know some of you do have those in your districts, how about having their student take a tour in their language and stopping by, this is my teacher, you know, again, these are the cooks, here's the principal, here's my classroom, here's my locker, so that they would have, you know, feel more comfortable walking into your building. So just some ideas on that. So Facebook as a communication tool, here's some resources other than that, here's the number one thing though. If you're going to get involved in Facebook professionally, have a separate Facebook account. Do not use the same account that you're using, you know, to share your personal stuff about your great holiday celebration or something. Just make sure you do that. And the other thing that I thought was really great about Facebook is you can create groups in Facebook. And I had created a group, which I then never used. And I've had it for quite a while because Facebook keeps sending me messages saying, you know, you haven't used this group for 5 years, we're going to get rid of it. But think about this. You could create a group of your coaches or of your teachers, or your teachers could create a group of students. You have to be 13 or older to do this with students. And your group can be, on your privacy setting, you can set it to be private, or you can set it to be secret. So if it's private, people can go out there and search for it and find it. But if it's secret, only the people in the group can see it and know about it. So some teachers use Facebook groups as a way to kind of like an LMS system to push out announcements, push out assignments, push out some content and that sort of thing. And the other thing is you can use Facebook for professional development. So here's the live streaming is one I talked about, and here are a couple of groups. So here's one called Facebook and Education Group, and there are all different kinds of educational groups that you can join on Facebook. So this, I think, let's see if it loads. Okay, wow, look at that, it did. Must be because Derek came over and touched the computer. So here's 20 excellent educational Facebook groups to join. So I joined a couple of them, and they put up great content and ideas about education and also about using Facebook in education. So are all of you on Facebook? Okay. Have you ever set up a group or done any of that kind of? Okay. So I'm going to go into Facebook. I should have had it open. Sorry. Let's hope it opens. Can you still see my screen? I'm hoping. Good. Oh, it's 3 W's. Look at that. Facebook. Okay, so I'm in Facebook. Here's my account. Over here, right over here are my groups. See, now I belong to the secondary, this is secondary special ed group. And here's STEM Teaching Ideas group. But if you're going to create a group, you click right here. It's very simple to do. Create group. And I didn't see any difference between these, so I just selected one, get things done. I'd like to get something done. And get it in the name, so Tech and TLC. It makes you invite at least one person. So warn somebody in your Facebook groups, friends. Remember, do this on your, I don't have an education account. I guess I need to set one So I'm going to invite Stephanie because we are friends. And then here's the magic right here. Closed group. Anyone can find the group and see who's in it. Only members can post. But if you don't want people to see what's in your group, then click on secret group. Only members can find that group and see the posts. And then you can also click here and add it to your favorites. And then I can say create. So the thing about a group then, I can pick an icon. How about a tent? And so now I've created my group. Now, and it's over here under groups. And it's right here under my favorites. Your group has been added to favorites. Thank you. And I can also edit it with this little icon right here. And whenever there's a gear, that means you can do something with it. So if I want to edit it, I can remove it, rearrange it, leave the group, or I can edit the settings. So you can do different things with the group. So that's groups. Now, if you want to, let me go back into my home. Now, if you want to do live video streaming on your device or on the internet here on a computer, you see it says live video streaming. So if I click on that, and, oh, that's right. You can't do live streaming on the computer. I'm sorry, but on a device, you click here, then it will, oh, no, I can. It says say something about your video. Okay. Help me. I'm going to just say help. And then I'm going to say next. Well, I probably shouldn't do this because this is really going to go out on my face. Talking to teachers. All right, and say next. And now, and I have to allow my camera. Okay, so now I can go live with the little button down here. Can you guys still see all of that? So if I go live, it gives me a countdown. And now I am live streaming out on my Facebook page, and anybody who's on my Facebook page could watch what I'm doing and wonder why I'm doing what I'm doing. Then the other nice thing about it is because it's Facebook, it archives it up to 90 minutes, and you don't have to do anything about moving it someplace or anything like that. So the bad thing is, I'm going to delete this. Oh, here's my checkbox. You know, people who make these things don't realize that when you get older, you can't see gray on white. But anyway, so that's Facebook for education. You can join groups or educator groups. You can do some live streaming. You could use it in the classroom. Most school districts have a Facebook page. And so you could ask about maybe posting some content on the Facebook page too. And I'm told by one of my superintendents that their community watches their Facebook page a lot more than they look at their website. So that's Facebook. I'll stop sharing. You guys have any questions? No questions. I must have done a great job. I'm going to go shut my door. I don't know if you can hear the radio, but from next door, but I do.
So there's no questions about the Facebook page. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about Google Hangouts. Have any of you used Google Hangouts before? No? Okay. So Google Hangouts is really a lot like Skype, a lot like the Zoom meeting that we're in today. I feel like Marianne and I are saying some of the same things over and over again, but all of these communication tools are that closely related. And it's kind of all about what are you trying to accomplish and what do you want to do and which one of these tools will best accomplish your goal. So that's kind of why we wanted to show you the variety and talk a little bit about it. When you're choosing, Twitter, that's where all the kids are. I use Twitter strictly as a professional. Facebook is still where all the parents are and our family and our friends. And, so it's kind of about what are you trying to get out and who's the audience that you're trying to reach. So Google Hangouts, I really like Google Hangouts. It's still kind of one of my favorites. It does have some limitations, but I still like it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here for a second. pull up. Here we go. Okay, so Google Hangouts is, again, a lot like Skype. You can access it very easily through your mail. Let me pull up my mail here really quick. You can see that. So through my mail, I can access my Google Hangouts over here on the right-hand side. I can chat somebody instantly, or I could click on it and start a Hangout live just clicking on their cameras. If it would hold still for a second, I can click on their cameras and start that conversation as well. It can be just chatting, or it can also be video. We'll go back here to the main. Or you can go to hangouts.google.com and start from there, and you'll see you can still do the instant messaging. You can make just a general phone call, or you can do the video call, which is a lot like what we're doing now. You have the ability to share your screen. You have the ability, when you're in a Hangout, to have chats. Conversations. Just know that those chats are seen by everyone that is in your Hangout. You can record your Google Hangouts with Hangouts on Air. It's kind of hard to demonstrate this one since we're already in the Zoom, but it is a really handy, quick tool. Judy, Marianne, and I would say, Marianne, we probably do 90% of our planning on Hangouts, don't we?
We do. I would say, maybe 3 times a year we're actually physically in the same room.
Yeah, to do planning type stuff. Yeah. And it's really nice because we can create that Google Doc. We can throw that link in Hangout so we can see each other. We can be on the same page, literally on the same page. And we can keep things moving forward because our geography prevents us from being in the same room every week like we would like to be. So if you want to go back to the TLC and tech page, I went through, again, I was trying to find some really good ways kind of get things started and thoughts. And you don't have to use these ideas just in Google Hangouts. You can use them with Skype. You can use them with Zoom. It's really about what are we trying to accomplish and what tool helps us accomplish this goal. So I went through and found a really good article. The full article is down below here, but there's 7 ways to use Google Hangouts with your students. So again, we talked about the book club with Voxer. You could do a virtual book club with Google Hangout. You can do a mystery Hangout, just like you can do a mystery Skype. Rethink student presentations. I think this would be a really fun one to try. Think about those kiddos creating a presentation and not only presenting it to the class, but maybe you bring an expert in. Maybe you involve members of your community, business members in your community. Maybe you involve parents, grandparents, and have the students deliver presentation that way. I think that would be a lot of fun. What if you considered, I have a typo there. What if you considered students working on projects together? Maybe we do some connecting with other districts or other buildings within your district. Those kiddos can collaborate and work on a project together. I love what this has done for us, Google Hangouts, Skype, Zoom, all of those different options, because now you can bring in a guest speaker. You can bring someone in from all over the world to address your students and teach them new things and give them new experiences. Virtual field trips is another thing you can do. We have lots of options for that. And for you as a professional to collaborate with your PLN, create a PLN through Google Hangouts. So now you can expand your whole world just by the click of a button. So those are some of the reasons that I like it. I also like Hangouts. Again, we're non-device specific. You can use it on any of your mobile devices. I really like just the ability to do that. Same thing that we can do in Skype. I have a link there for you on how to get started if you've never used the tool. Some of the districts do have this disabled, so it would be a conversation to enable Hangouts in the chat feature. I'm not really sure. Do you guys have questions? It's a pretty quick, easy, straightforward, no account set up because it's already in your Gmail. So it's kind of an easy one. I'm gonna fix that typo because that's making me crazy. Marianne, do you have something to add?
Well, the thing, they've changed Google Hangouts on Air now.
Yes.
And it lives in your YouTube account. Yes. And that's where you start it now from, is from your YouTube account. Mm-hmm. And one of the nice things about that is, again, that's live video streaming, and you can be up to 8 hours. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure why you would want to be 8 hours of live video streaming, but you can. And here's a story from a math teacher from, I want to say Loma, but I don't think that's right. Actually, I think it's Underwood. Okay, doesn't really matter. Math teacher who used Google Hangouts on Air to record And he did it on a Chromebook. So, okay, so he has his Chromebook and it's facing his board. So facing the board, and he's up on the board writing, talking, solving the problems, actually giving the demonstration lecture piece of his class. And he's recording it on Google Hangouts on Air, which goes immediately into his YouTube account. And so then it's really easy then to share that using Google Classroom or pushing out just the URL or whatever. And his students like it. And what was interesting, I learned about this in a class I was teaching this summer. One of his parents was a teacher from another district, was in the class, and she was saying how much she and her son liked that. And that was a simple, easy way to flip your classroom. Chromebook with the camera pointed to the whiteboard, and you're talking through it and showing how to solve a problem, and Hangouts on Air inside your YouTube account. You didn't even need to convert it or do anything to it. It's just right there. It's pretty simple. I mean, as simple as anything is. You can see how simple things were today for us. So anyway.
I think one other thing that I want to mention, you can have up to 25 people on your Google Hangout.
So that's increased.
Mm-hmm. I just was double checking it because I thought I had read somewhere earlier that it was 9. And so I was just looking, and as of March, Google Hangouts video call at one time, the old limit of 10 is now increased to 25 users. So I'm glad I looked that up because I was getting ready to say that I thought it was 9 or 10.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so that's a good thing to have. And we can stick a link on there also about starting your Hangouts on Air and how it has switched. I think it was just in September that the button went away from your mail or from your Google Plus and it went into the YouTube Live. So we can include that as well. Yeah.
All right. So what's next?
I think
Slack. You want to do Slack?
Yes, I think you have Slack and GroupMe left.
I do. All right, where am I at? Here's Slack. And I'm finding it. So I'd never used Slack before. Any of you ever heard of Slack? No, me either. So basically what Slack is a communication tool that works on all devices that allows you to create a group and then have people join your group, and you can share documents, you can share emails, you can set up also meetings. It's a meeting organizer, and you have to be 13 in order to use it. And so I was thinking, if you have kids that are doing project-based learning and you wanted them to use something that would organize their projects, Slack would work if they're over 13. So I'm going to share my screen again because I have another 3-slide presentation to show you. So where's my share screen button? Oh, there it is. And share screen. And let's see. Here's Slack right here. And this is a link out to Slack, and then this is the presentation. So if you want to see what Slack looks like, let's see if I can get that to go. Keep your fingers crossed it loads. Okay. So here it is right now, a messaging app for teens who are changing the world, which is very nice. And I already have, and if you can create a new team, you need to get a login, and it says pricing, but you can use it for free. I set up a team. This is my team. I like the little sayings that they have. So then over here on the side, then you can set up different channels. So your channels could be about a particular subject. So I set up a channel for what we're doing here. I don't know that there's much in it, no. You can invite people to join, and you can also, excuse me, you can do some messaging right down here. You can message, you can send an individual message. So if I wanted to send an individual message to Stephanie, I click on her name and I could send her a message. Let me get my Slack presentation up. Is that me or you? I'm going to plug in my little gizmo here and put my headset on and click on Slack. My other thing wants to be in the way. So now I can't see my screen. Okay, so basically Slack is communicate, collaborate, and it just corrals everything about your project. It's in one easy place to use. And then here's a little short video, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, on how to get started in Slack and how to use it. The website has a lot of great tutorials, so if you want to get started using it or try it out.
We're not hearing any sound, Marianne.
Okay, I think that's because we're recording.
I'm wondering.
Yeah, okay, well, let me stop that then.
One of the things that's really nice about this type of a thing is if you don't want to give students your phone number, you can use messaging apps like this.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. But Slack works on all devices, so you can download the app, and it's just another way to communicate and to manage a project or manage a team. So that's Slack. Lots of different things to use. Okay. What's next? You guys have any questions about Slack that I can't answer?
I think Group Me is our last one to talk about, and that's you again.
Group Me was Judy.
Oh, that was Judy. Oh, sorry.
And Judy put some information on there about Group Me. And basically that is another
messaging app.
It's another messaging app that you can put on your device. And have you ever text messaged a group, and so then you had to type in like 3 or 4 different names of people so that you could text message? You know, sometimes I text message both of my sons the same thing, and so then I have to type in each name. What GroupMe does is allows you to set up groups to text message those groups. And you can set it up to either work inside the GroupMe app only, or you can set it up to actually then send out to your SMS. Is that right? Is that what they call texting, SMS? Your actual testing device. So it could be, so that's an easy way to message out to a group. And I'm not sure what I know. She's got a video, but since we can't hear the video, we're not going to play that.
GroupMe is a lot like Slack. Actually, we use it. I use it. As I mentioned earlier, my son's in wrestling, and we decided this year to create a mom's group. We communicate who's going to bring what to the tournaments every Saturday. So we put it out in that group, and instead of having to go through your phone, open a text message, find everybody's names, it's a constantly created group, a running thread, and it is really a handy communication tool. I could see a lot of uses in the classroom. My daughter plays softball, and her coaches, they would create a group meet. They would send us the schedule. They would tell us when practice times were, when practice times changed. So you could use this with your play kids. You could use it with your planning groups, with your teams that you're meeting with. I mean, there's just a lot of different opportunities to create that group conversation and connectedness.
So here's one thing that I would equate it to, and tell me if you think I'm wrong. Remember in Outlook back in the day, you could create distribution lists, and you'd have like 10 emails in it, and you put in one email address, and then it'd go out to 10 people. And you could do that in Gmail as well, creating a contents group. So it's kind of similar to that for text message. I've got 10 people in here I'm going to be sending a text out to, and I don't want to type in each one of their names each time, so it's a way to organize that. So I'm going to share my screen because I've got the GroupMe thing up here now, and we're not going to play a video. So you can.
And it's a way to be quick and productive, like you said, Marianne, but it also allows you to continue that privacy and not have to give your cell phone number out to everybody. If you create this group, they'll receive that invitation to the group, but not have your phone number, but you can still communicate back and forth as if you did have this number.
And it works on all devices, so, as it says here. And free group messaging, like a private chat room for your small group. Have as many as you want. It's always free right now. And coordinate with workers or, anyone. And it works over your texting. And you can set it up to either go only to GroupMe or to go to texting only or to go to GroupMe and texting. And you can share photos. So all different kinds of different things you can do with GroupMe.
Yeah.
So let me stop sharing.
Lots of options and opportunity.
Yes. Do any of you use any communication devices that we didn't mention? Did you like to mention?
What was your favorite tool that we talked about today, or one of the tools that you think you could see being used in your district?
Remember, you're all muted, so that if you want to talk to us, you have to unmute. Or I think I have the power.
You do.
I do. I have the power to unmute you.
Unmute them.
Muting everyone.
I'm unmuted, but I have 12 students in my classroom now who are diligently working, so I'm probably going to bail out of here. But thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
If you need any personal help, just call Judy. I think she's your person. Not that I wouldn't be happy to come over, but I'm pretty sure Missouri Valley's Judy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Bye-bye. So if nobody has anything else to say, we'll end and corral the video and put it out on our website. So if you want to revisit it, you can. Maybe we'll chunk it each one. That might even be better. Yeah. All right. So, all right, Sarah, glad you liked it. Thanks. Bye-bye.
See you guys.